Hey, you should be able to defend yourself and your loved ones. The problem is that lawmakers don't understand that criminals don't obey the law. Gun control laws just make it harder for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. What can you do about it? You can join a Second Amendment activist group like San Diego County Gun Owners. SDCGO makes activism easy. SDCGO connects you with other gun owners. Working together, we're getting more pro-gun officials elected. Join today at San Diego County Gun Owners.com. Go to San Diego County Gun Owners.com and join today. Well, we have a prize winner, Jim Rankins. You have a Gun Owners Radio prize pack coming. That's right. Stickers, patches, goodies. And if you want to win, folks, all you have to do is join the Gun Owner Radio newsletter. All right, we have a very special guest in the house. We have Amy Reichert, and she is here going to hang out with us, co-host. Did you even know that?
Yes,
you thought
I did.
you were here for the lunch.
Is there food involved?
No, there's no food.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That was Joe's job. He was supposed to bring it.
Oh, it's good to have a job, though. It's nice. I could do that.
I was gonna say we have bananas and apples in the other room.
Bananas and apples.
Come on, that.
Fried chicken, man. That's what I'm looking for.
I'll take some apple slices.
There you go. Okay.
See, I knew you would, but you
There we
already
go.
got something else. What is that?
Uncrustables pizza rolls.
That sounds pretty
That
good
sounds
too.
pretty. Well, you just stay in the
Oh,
box.
okay, sorry.
Can't let you go anywhere. All right. So Amy, I understand you're running for supervisor.
I sure am, and I'm running against Nathan Fletcher.
Didn't I just see you on KUSI this morning?
I was on this morning.
So was I.
That's so cool.
I watched you.
Oh, very cool.
I'm sitting there going, darn, she looks familiar. And in fact, it was funny because I walked out of the studio and Tommy was there. I go, oh, Nathan Fletcher's in serious trouble. He goes, yeah, I think so, too. So you did a really good job this morning.
Thank you.
And you're not a hardcore politician. I mean, it's not like you've been doing this your whole life.
No, a couple years ago, I didn't even really know who my county board of supervisors were.
I know. I don't either. I know exactly the feeling. But I loved your slogan. Was it Mama Bears?
Mama Bears. Yes, Mama Bears for Amy for supervisor.
Why did you pick that? Because you're a mama bear, right?
Yeah, like I said, a couple years ago, I didn't even know who my county board of supervisors were, and little did we know how important they would become during these lockdowns.
Until they start doing things that make you want to know who they
Well,
are.
And awaken the mama bear.
That's right. And I think that is probably, and I can't think of anything else positive that COVID has done for the country except awareness. And I think if it had to been for COVID, you probably wouldn't be running for supervisor, right?
No, I would just be living my life.
Doing your thing,
Doing my
raising your
thing.
kids.
Yep.
Hoping that the schools were raising them the way you wanted them to be raised.
Well, I pulled my son out of public school a couple years ago.
Did you
I
really?
saw the writing on the
Outstanding.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big things that happened. If there is a positive thing with all this COVID
That's
stuff,
what I'm saying. It's the only.
yeah, because I think with the kids being stuck at home and then the parents being at home to work, I think for the first time parents were starting to actually hear what was going on at school. You know, because I think as parents, both parents are working, everybody's busy. Okay, yeah, the kids are in school, but you're not paying maybe as close attention as you should. And I think having the kids at home, having that stuff streamed over the computer. And now you're sitting there with it, and it's what? Wait a minute. What did they do? What did they just say? And I think a lot of people woke up. We saw what happened in Virginia, and that kind of stuff's been going on all around the country. So I
What
think that
book
was
are
a
they
good thing.
reading? What is that topic? What are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well, and then did you see the mom the other day that was reading out of the book that was in her child's library, basically,
And they threw her out.
stopped her, because they said it's inappropriate. She said yes. That was
That's
the
my point. That's why I'm here. So, according to KUSI, you've been doing extremely well. You've got over, 150 volunteers that are helping you out?
Yes, I just got redistricted just a couple months ago. So as you know, we go through the census every 10 years and then they redraw the lines. And lo and behold, I woke up in January and instead of being in Joel Anderson's district, I live in La Mesa.
Yeah.
I found myself in Nathan Fletcher's district. And while there were a lot of moans throughout the county when they found out Nathan Fletcher was their new supervisor, I was cheering. I was like, yes,
Now
game on, let's do this.
I've definitely got something to get up for now.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, now the only thing we have to do is keep everything legal. Keep the vote. Well, the voting, not you, but I hate to say it, but the left doesn't like to lose.
Well, you're not in the you're not running with the party that doesn't keep things legal, right?
So
You're with the
No,
other
she's
party.
not. But we got
I have been endorsed by the San Diego Republican Party,
Right.
the California GOP. I've been endorsed by the San Diego County Gun Owners.
That's right. That's why you're here
the big endorsement.
as we speak.
And I've been endorsed by the San Diego Libertarian Party.
Fantastic.
Right?
Okay,
Congrats.
so what did you do before
you.
this? What did you do before this?
So I've had a few lifetimes of careers, so to speak. I am a state licensed private investigator in California. I've had my license since 1999. In 2004, I was in ministry at Eastlake Church for 10 years. Wow. So have my master's in divinity too.
No kidding.
And then when I had my now 11-year-old son, 3 weeks after I turned 43, I decided, you know what, I'd really rather do something that I could work from home. And so I work in marketing remotely. So that's what I've been doing. And
Wow.
I'm the director of partnerships for a very successful e-commerce company.
See, and really all three of those fit your new job title or what you're running for perfectly.
Oh,
Don't you
it's
think?
great. They're all about people.
Yeah.
Ministry was about
Yeah.
people. Investigations was
Investigation.
about helping people. And in marketing, it's about growing people and growing industry. And it's, yes. So as the co-founder of Reopen San Diego, which is my labor of love, I've applied all of my life experiences to growing Reopen San Diego to what it is today.
Well, it's funny. I didn't get radio till I was 50. I didn't get on KUSI until I was 50. But all my life experiences being in the car industry is what catapulted me into those two areas to where now it's easy for me to do this. Guns, not so much, but I started a gun show a few years back, and that didn't work the way I wanted it to. It became too political. This is the best group I've ever worked with. We've been doing this, 6 years? 6 or 7?
Could be. Not me, but
Well, you've been with us.
most of them, I think.
Yeah, you've been with us, most of them.
Been that long?
Yeah, I know. Time flies. In fact, if you really want to know if everybody's doing their job properly, this is episode 294. So you do the math. So you're raising money. You're getting people. You're getting yourself out there. I mean, hopefully I'm sure you're gonna end up on all the TV stations.
Oh yeah, every night it's a different event.
Yeah.
Every day sometimes it's 2-3 different events.
Right. But you're very outgoing. You're very personable, and you're an easy person to relate to because, I mean, you're right down here with the rest of us.
I love people. And
Sure.
one of the things I recently spoke at a San Diego County Gun Owners meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I just said, you know what? I'm one of you. You're one of us at Reopen San Diego. I can remember in the very beginning, we would have these things called freedom markets to support small
Remember those,
businesses.
yeah.
And San Diego County Gun Owners had a booth at all of our freedom markets. And so, we just go way back. Plus, I went to Gun Prom last year.
Yes. It wasn't that fun.
Yes.
So Nathan Fletcher has proved himself to be a tyrant. Mask mandates for children, shutting down businesses, trying to shut down gun shops. The list goes on and on. This year, we have the opportunity to get Nathan out of office and get somebody that supports your freedom, Amy Reichert.
But first, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call California firearms lawyer John Dillon if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Call 760-642-7150, or you can visit his website at DillonLawGP.com.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to do this again? All right.
Sure, you're not.
All right.
Well, you might as well.
So let me reintroduce Amy Reichert, candidate for San Diego Board of Supervisors. Amy's running against Nathan Fletcher, hopefully very successfully this year. So, Amy, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So we we were talking a little bit about that on last segment. I want to back up just for a second because you mentioned that that Reopen San Diego had a bunch of major things go on here recently. Do you want to touch on that, and then we'll roll back into the supervisor race?
Absolutely. Well, the past 18 months, it's so easy for so many people to feel like we're not winning in California and that there's no hope. I mean, we all know people who just left the state. They just had enough. And the thing is Reopen San Diego is comprised of people from all walks of life that are not giving up on this state and have had enough of the tyranny. And some of the wins are pretty amazing. I don't know if you remember, but Mayor Todd Gloria for San Diego tweeted that he would award a mayoral proclamation to the first restaurant that would do vaccine passports. And Reopen San Diego, we sprung into action and we built a coalition of 300 businesses in the county that said, no, we will not discriminate, even displaying signs in their window. And as you know, there were vaccine passports in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Boston, New York City, and Reopen San Diego successfully kept them out of San Diego County.
Excellent. That is awesome. Man, I tell you, I live in Alpine, and we fought.
Freedom loving. I love Alpine.
We fought like you would not believe. We actually had a business owner, and the sheriff came with the health department, and the sheriff eats lunch at this restaurant every day. So she felt kind of bad. She just stood in the back, and the health person says, "All right, you have to sign this." She goes, "No." Well, then you have to do no. She said, "Well, you." So she took it, wadded it up, and threw it at her. Then she called me and said, "I think I got myself in trouble. Can you help me?" I go, "What do you want me to do?" She says, "Well, don't you know Joel Anderson?" I go, "Yeah." So I called Joel, and Joel put a stop to it. And we were in our own little world up there. Except all you people from La Mesa kept coming up because you didn't have to put a mask on or anything in any of our restaurants. But that's okay. We still like you. I'm gonna let you continue on.
No, it's good you jumped in and did that too, and I think it's great because it's a real grassroots kind of organization. It's a lot like San Diego County Gun Owners, and you guys just were. I think until people stand up to that stuff, I mean, and it took a long time for people to stand up to it. But like a lot of people sacrificed. I remember you were working real closely with the police in San Diego, the firefighters who were being threatened, who were losing jobs over these vaccines. And it's interesting now because I think it's not that they're backing off on it, but I think they're
backing off.
Well, they lost that battle, and I would love to see some justice or some lawsuits.
Well, look at all the people
there are lawsuits.
But look at all the people that lost their jobs, doctors, nurses, and now it's like, okay, no problem. You don't need. Wait a minute. I lost my job. Are you going to give it back to me?
I know. And that's what's been so tragic about this. And I liken it to there's 1,000 fires burning in California right now. Literally every morning when you wake up, you feel like you're being sucker punched.
Yeah.
And so in the case of our first responders, this happened in November. Mayor Todd Gloria was going to fire 1,000 first responders 3 weeks before Christmas, just like they did in New York City, and not even offer them a religious exemption.
Nope.
So police officers came to Reopen San Diego and they said, our own union won't support us. Will you help us do a press conference? So we had a Protect the Protectors press conference at City Hall. We had 500 people show up, and guess what? The POA started talking to its own cops. Yeah. And then Mayor Todd Gloria started backing down. So he's going to try to spin it like he won, but we saved 1,000 first responders. Yeah. But then there's other things, too, that came up. So right after that, Mayor Todd Gloria and the San Diego City Council passed an ordinance saying that if you're not vaccinated, you can't hold elected office. And I know, you're giving me that look like, is that even possible?
I hadn't even heard that one.
That's just blatantly unconstitutional.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, Reopen San Diego, we are really big on the Constitution. I think that's why we get along so well with the San Diego County Gun Owners.
Right.
And a lot of people that are part of Reopen San Diego are also active members of San Diego County Gun Owners.
Right.
But we're like, no, we are not going to stand for this. And we put our money where our mouth is, and we sued in federal court against the city, and we have some great attorneys, the same attorneys that successfully sued Gavin Newsom to reopen North County schools. So we're very confident that we're going to prevail in that.
Wow.
And that's excellent because, like I said, you can't, you're talking about the Constitution, and especially, we're sensitive to it as, gun owners in a gun rights place or group. And, it's like they ignore the Constitution, and they don't seem to care, and they just chip away at it. And they know they can get away with it for a while until somebody, decides to bring a lawsuit, and then they can still get away with it, for years. The one that you're probably familiar with, was SB 906, I think, that we talked about last week, where they want to require parents to have to notify the schools about their gun ownership, what they own, how they store it, where they store it. And, and that'll go right through, basically. I'm sure the governor will sign that. And then a group like your group, like our group, is going to have to challenge that and push back on it. But it's so refreshing to have people like you guys out there.
Yeah, this is
So
the first time I've had this show, and I'm happy.
Well, there's even more good news.
Good, because I'm normally depressed.
Well,
We can call Dylan.
I truly believe that there is hope for California. I know that's controversial, but there is hope. So this was about a month ago. So Reopen San Diego, we always show up to the Board of Supervisors when they'll let us in, except for they were shut down for the past 2 months from December to January. So we would call in, and this is one of the things that I said during my 2-minute speech. I said, if I'm elected to replace Nathan Fletcher, I promise the very first thing that I will do is roll back and end the vaccine mandates on new hires, right? So, and then there were some other people that also called in about that issue. Well, then when it came around for discussion, Jim Desmond brought that up. Hey, we should have the CAO, the county administrative officer, take a look at this and phase this out. Well, Nathan Fletcher butts in. He's like, well, it was never supposed to be permanent. It was only supposed to be temporary. Well, tell that to the people that lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Tell that to the people who had their promotions denied at the county. So I am so happy to announce that as of April 5th, people will no longer be discriminated against for the county for new hires, and they are ending the weekly mandatory testing for county employees.
No kidding.
Nathan Fletcher's scared.
I think you're right. I think you're at because it's like the bully in the yard. If he keeps pushing you around and nobody stands up to him, then he's going to continue to be the bully. Then all of a sudden, your group, stood up to him and Gloria, and now they're backing down because they realize they're not the bullies anymore.
Yeah, and he really is a bully. He has gone after me 5 times in order to fundraise through his emails.
Sure.
He has called me a gun nut, right?
So
He's
you must
called
be
me
threatening.
Yeah, well, you got to be threatening or he
You
wouldn't
must
be
be doing
attacking
well.
you.
He's called me all these horrible names, right? It's like, please,
I know. Yeah.
get a hold of yourself.
Yeah,
Nathan.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, go,
Dude.
Yeah, go to work at Home Depot. You'll be fine. Go in the garden department. It'll be okay. You can hang around all the other pansies, but that's another story.
Yeah, so I just I don't know. I'm just so happy to see you doing this.
Me too.
So how's your race going? How's it all? Is there a lot of excitement there in your district and with the people? Because you would think people would not be happy with that's the other thing that amazes me in California, that we have this really because we choose this. We vote for these people. We keep them in office. And it's not like it's just conservatives are suffering here. Everybody's suffering with this.
Left and right.
Everybody, when I go buy gas on the way home and it's pushing $6, what was it, $5.55 I think the last time.
Six. Chevron is $6.12.
Yeah, and that's not just the conservative gas stations. Everybody's paying that. Everybody's suffering. Yet we still seem to vote for these same people and keep them in office. It's frustrating. So hopefully you're going to make a big change here, I think, shake things up.
And people are really happy. When I tell people that I'm running, people hug me. They cheer.
Yeah.
One guy was so happy he literally fell out of his chair.
Well, this is why I say I didn't, my first show that I do is off-road. San Diego Off-Road Coalition, and the government's trying to close the desert, close the mountains, close the trails. So I'm all bummed out for that hour. And then I do my automotive and motorsports, and I'm all happy again. Then I come and do this show, and then I'm back being depressed again until you showed up. So we need to bring her in as a permanent co-host.
I think so, yeah. Just the
Well,
balance,
because and like I
stuff.
said, I think it's so important that you're putting in the due diligence. What are you doing? 4 hours a night sleep? Maybe 5 if you're lucky.
No, I'm really disciplined when it comes to my routine. So things really changed for me. So
I
a couple years
guess.
ago, so 2020 was a wake-up call for me. I'm sure it was a lot of wake-up call for a lot of people listening. And, just like Michael lost a lot of weight, I lost 45 pounds. I know, right?
Wow.
And I walk every morning, 3 miles a day. And
So you have
I
your
lift weights,
discipline.
and I get regular sleep, and I have a full-time job, and I make French toast for my family on Sundays and dinner at night, and I have their 1,000% support.
There you go.
You
Well,
know,
yeah, if you
so-
don't have that, this would be a really tough job, let me tell you. Is getting your pilot's license on your bucket list? Well, make that dream come true at San Diego Flight Training International. We are very excited to welcome San Diego Flight Training International as a new sponsor. You can learn to fly, start the adventure of a lifetime in the heart of San Diego, right at Montgomery Field. Getting started is easy. Just give them a call at 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with SDFTI. Just call today, 858-569-1822. We got Amy Reichert in the house. She's running for supervisor. She's going to dethrone Nathan Fletcher.
Yes.
And I don't know, we're hoping that we can get him a job driving a garbage truck, which I think would be a perfect
somewhere
job.
else.
Driving a garbage truck could be fine. I think he could handle that little arm that puts the stuff on the bottom. So Amy comes to us with not a ton of political experience, which I think is personally a good idea. You have no bad habits to speak of. You've surrounded yourself with like-minded people that have the same goal. And I think that, to me, is going to be the success. You don't have any preconceived notions. You're not trying to, I joked off air, become mayor. You're not interested in being mayor. You just want to fix what you can fix at at level you're fixing it at.
That's right. I mean, it took me by surprise. January, the lines were redrawn. And when I saw that, I felt it was
So
my
you wouldn't have
duty
done
to
anything
do it.
if those lines had not been drawn.
I would not have done anything.
And it's because you lost Joel.
I lost Joel, and I just could not live with Nathan Fletcher
Yeah.
in my district. So we're going to change that and make it our district.
Okay, so I'm going to do a Michael Schwartz. What is your opinion on guns? Because that's what he would say, right?
He would, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a gun show.
Not as eloquently as that, but he would say that. So what is your position? Well, maybe not just necessarily on guns, but Second Amendment rights and gun ownership.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about both. And one of the things that I say, and what a lot of other people say, that if we didn't have the Second Amendment, we wouldn't be able to have the First Amendment.
Right.
And especially from our perspective here at Reopen San Diego, we've been looking at all these other countries like Australia. Oh my gosh.
Didn't that shock you?
It was shocking.
I couldn't believe it.
It was predictable based upon having their guns taken away.
Yeah.
But wow, I never would have thought that the people of Australia would have rolled over that easily. But they didn't have any power on their side.
Right.
So, but we have the Constitution, and that's something that I strongly believe in. I've got my pocket Constitution right in here.
Just in case. There it is. Look at that.
Always carry it with me.
Yeah. Just in case you have to do a little reference. Well, Joe hit it right on the head. You know, I mean, Joe's been, banging your head against this issue for a long time.
With the gun rights and
Yeah.
just the abuse of that. Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because we always say that, okay, well, he's a county supervisor, so they don't really, they don't write the laws or anything, but they do make ordinances and they do cause problems. And just recently, and again, Nathan Fletcher, I think, spearheaded these things with the ban on the 80% lower kind of thing, like they have in the city of San Diego. Moving that out to the county, the safe storage stuff, which is just idiotic. But again, so they can make it a problem here, locally, if you get people that that are anti-Second Amendment or anti-Constitution locally. And the other thing that's good too is we can make a difference here. I mean, yes, Nathan Fletcher's the incumbent, big, powerful politician, but Nathan Fletcher could be beaten. And these local elections, with even with Joel last time, 250 votes, we can have an impact here locally. So this is just a great way to get into that because, now with what do we have? Joel and Jim Desmond on the board, and so there's always three that are kind of the other way. And it's unfortunate because it's not even a discussion now. It's hard over that way. And, sure would be nice to have 3-2 with the good guys ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And our experience has been that we have brought a historic amount of people to the County Board of Supervisors. We showed up on August 31st with over 200 people filling out a speaker slip. And
they've never seen that before.
I asked the sheriff's deputy, and he said, "This is history making." And we made all of local news, national news, international news. There were videos that went viral about that. And here's the thing: it didn't matter. And here's the thing: it should matter, because if you look at the org chart for the County of San Diego, it's supposed to be the people, and then the Board of Supervisors,
right,
and then all of the departments. It's on their actual website, but they have not been behaving as if the people are at the top of the org chart. So we want to reclaim that.
And I think what you've done with this, and Joe, you hit a really good point, and you as well, I think other cities are starting to look and say, hey, if San Diego can do it, we don't want to put up with this ridiculous, insanity that they're throwing at us. So I think it's going to spread. And I think the more it spreads, I think the wave, like you said, I've never been to a board meeting ever, but I will. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't all do it together, if we don't all like-minded join up, then we're just going to be complacent and we'll be right back where we were before.
Absolutely. My son, he's in 5th grade and he's 11 years old. He's been to a County Board of Supervisors meeting for 13 hours straight. He brought his homework and he was doing his homework up in the balcony, but he loved it. Yeah. And he can name every single San Diego County Board of Supervisor.
Wow.
And if they're on our side or not, which is really cool. And he loves it. But, here's the thing with our experience. Our experience has been that when we did go before the Board of Supervisors, that here I was taking off a day from work, just like many other people who were there, and then we would wait 7-8 hours for our time to speak, where we would get 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And Nathan Fletcher wouldn't even look at us. He wouldn't even look at my son, who was standing there with me at the podium. He just stared down at his phone the entire time. And later we found out he was tweeting F-bombs and mocking his own constituents.
Really?
And that is that's not a public servant.
No. But, well, we know why he's in office. I mean, it's not anything other than to climb the ladder.
That's what a lot of people are telling me.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, that's been my observation as well.
Yeah. He used to come to KUSI. We haven't seen him there in a long time. But there was a time when he was, pretty on the right side to a certain degree. But then I don't know what changed him, but man, he is just, it's terrible. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, and I just want to say that, to the listeners out there, no matter where you are in San Diego County right now, when I beat Nathan Fletcher, this is going to change everything for everybody in every part of the county. This will be a very good thing and a very good day in San Diego.
I think you're absolutely right. So what does the general public need to do to help you?
Please go to my website. We've talked a lot about Nathan Fletcher, but, I also wanted to say what we're for. And we are for freedom. Mm-hmm. We are for liberty.
Right.
And you can find out more by going to amyforsandiego.com. That's Amy, F-O-R, sandiego.com.
Nice and
easy.
You
can get a yard sign there. You can sign up as a volunteer. You can donate. So far in 2 months, we've raised nearly $50,000 for my campaign.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, the other thing I like, too, and Because most of the time, if we bring a politician in here to talk, first thing they want is a donation. We almost had to pull it out of you. We've been here almost an hour, and you finally brought that up. But what I like is that you're looking for volunteers. You're looking for people to help make this happen, like-minded people. And it gives people that wouldn't think that they would make a difference because of the like-minded people that are on this. And I think Open San Diego probably had a lot to do with it, because that's where you got your grassroots, I'm sure.
Well, just like I think a lot of people that are listening right now, if you had a different opinion about the Second Amendment, maybe you lost some friends over your beliefs, right? And so people are able to connect with San Diego County Gun Owners and be with like-minded people. And that's the same way it's been with Reopen San Diego, too. I mean, there's people that lost friendships and family members that wouldn't talk to them over just discussions over masks, right? And so that's what my campaign is about. Yeah. It's about bringing people together. And I will say this, it's been a nonpartisan issue as far as freedom goes. And there are people that are Democrats, people who are Republicans, people who are libertarians that support me because they know what I stand for.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe, what do you think on that?
I think it's great. That's what we need to get back to. And that's just not a local San Diego problem. That's a problem throughout the country. And, people are doing that. I mean, I have, family members that I really don't have much to do with anymore, because of all this divisiveness, with these masks and the other things. And, and I have to say the government's really played into that well. I mean, they did not, at first, if we go back to the COVID thing, at first they didn't really know, okay, and they were afraid, all right, we want to do the right thing, we want to be safe. But several months into it, they knew, certainly a year ago, they knew that we didn't have to be doing all this stuff. And it just caused so much damage and destruction. And I still see people walking around out there by themselves, no one around anywhere, and they're wearing masks. And it's like, they've done a lot of damage here. You've frightened a lot of people. So I think it's good that the people are finally coming back, and that watching what happened with Reopen San Diego is just a great indication of that. And I think we'll see more of that now with folks like you running against people like Nathan Fletcher. And we're going to be seeing that all over the state and all over the country. So it's really a refreshing, exciting thing, I think.
And we don't hold anything against people that still want to wear a mask.
Oh, it's totally mask choice. Absolutely.
See, that's the key.
It's the enforcing it on people is the problem.
But I just like you were saying, though, Joe, that, the science is there. Outdoor transmission is not a thing. Mm-hmm. And so if I do see somebody who's walking and they're wearing an N95 and there's nobody around them for, 100 yards, I do have questions just like you do. How much did the messaging from the government result in that person, living like that? So it is their choice, though. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that your door is open to anybody that's like-minded.
We've had people who've come in to Reopen San Diego, and they're like, I'm going to wear a mask. Is that okay? And I'm like, yes, welcome.
Sure.
And, here's the other thing, too. I want to give your listeners some hope, too. So lately, there have been people that are like, Amy, I have to tell you something. I voted for Biden. And I really, really apologize. I feel really bad. It was a mistake. People are waking up.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.